Welcome to Inside Outboards with your host, kodibass.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Big hello to all the new subscribers. Thank you for stopping in and joining us here for some good old outboard fun. Well, I called the owner and got a message machine on this little 9.9 Yamaha. Salty little booger. And so what I'm going to do, I have decided, is I'm going to drop the lower unit and just see if I can figure out what's going on with this shift situation. I cannot budge it from the shift lever. So on these little Yamahas, you're talking 4 bolts and a couple 10mm nuts to separate the shift link. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this lower and just dig around in there and see what we can find. And you know, if it's something straightforward and it's not serious, then we'll see if we can't straighten it out and then go from there, because I don't know what I'm going to find. So all we can do is give it a whirl. Let's do it. Get my lower unit stand over here. Okay. Now, will she shift? Yep. Yep, she shifts fine from the handle, so the problem is this guy. I think what I'm going to do is just take the water pump housing and all this and see if I can get some lubrication down in this shifter. I'm beginning to think that it's just from sitting, the shifter's kind of bound up. You know, it's just all dry and everything. So let me zip that off of there real quick. This way I can look at, ooh, everything's salty and tight. Everything pretty soft. Okay. Okay. And our impeller ain't too bad. A little bit memory set, but not Not super bad. Well, it seems to be the place that it's where it's stuck is right here in this rubber grommet. It's amazing what salt can do. I got the nut for the shift link just flush with the, so I don't hurt the threads. You see how tight that is on there? That's incredible. It's just this nut is all, or this rubber grommet is just all full of salt and everything, and I can't get it to let loose of the shift rod. I don't want to mar that up anywhere. Well, there she be. Wow. So, as I pushed it down, it went into reverse. And I'm just going to take a wire brush and clean the inside of that thing. But yeah, that's what it seems like, is just this rubber grommet had it all salty, messed up. So I'm just going to take and run this through there and then slap this lower back on and just see if there, that little seal came out of there. There's the seal. Now I'm just going to clean everything back up and see if I can get it to shift easy then. Okay, I put a little lubriplate all over the shift rod and in that seal, and I did not have a new impeller, but I had a used impeller that looked better than the one that came out. The one that came out, though, was not that bad. I mean, I've seen a lot worse and they still pump water, so, but I've got the old everything lubed up. That was good. Oh, I dropped the bolt. So, let me get me a set of my pinksers and pinkser it out of there. Or I could just flip it upside down. Let me try this first. can see it right there, but no. Get my extra long set. It's caught in a little, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Well, if you wouldn't have been a doofus and dropped it down there in the first place. Do a little crissy-crossy applesauce. Make sure I got them good and tight. I see some looby plate squirting out from there. So now we'll put this little nut back on. But I'll drop it in the floor first. Because I can't do nothing with these rubber gloves on. So. But yeah, when I took this plate off, everything shifted easy. So, was it just a rubber gloves? Or, I mean, gloves, rubber, whatever that thing's called. Seal? That was holding that? Well, let's put it on this nut, because like I said, you don't want to mar nothing. If you mar it, that ain't going to help the situation none here. There. Look at there. There's reverse. Or is it? Well, that's something. There's, I guess, forward, neutral, and there's reverse. Okay. That's neutral, and there's forward. Yeah, it's just right nice now. That's all it was. Yep, it was just that rubber grommet down in there was so tight, that it wouldn't let the shift rod move. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick her back up in there. I didn't even try and see if this thing would tilt. It's probably so salty it won't. But hey, never know till you try. Yeah. I'm not even sure what kind of latches things. Oh, there it is. Right there. Oh, look at that, like Bud does. Put little geese. Put little geese on that water tube. Where you at, water tube? There we go. And let me look. And look. Okay, that's just water. Making sure. Put a little geese around that water tube, help it slide in. Then I'll put some on the sides of the splines, not on the top. So, we got a little geese. And let me see if we can get this old lower back on and at least see if it'll go in and out of gear. Okay. Of course, we're going to have to do the carburetor. I see it. I see you. I think I got it. Alrighty, there we are as far as that lower goes. Okay, let me make sure you're in there now because I done moved it down. Okay, we are in forward, neutral, reverse. That's all it was a rubber grommet. Unbelievable. Neutral, forward. Wow. So, that's all it was that rubber grommet. And that tells me, amongst other things, that tells me this little motor has been setting a long time. Move my lower unit stand. It's been sitting a long time. When a rubber grommet, I mean, you got leverage here, you know. And I was putting quite a bit of leverage on that thing, and all because of that little salty rubber grommet. And things, I swear, it's like they can almost get welded. So let's get this garbage raider off and make it a cobber deraper. Cause it's all plugged it up. Remove my little sockets that I was using as spacers. So we did that. What else we got to remove? We got to remove this choke thingy of a advancer thingy. Where's the screwdriver then? I'll do it with that. So you got to be real careful when they've been sitting a long time like this. This plasticky stuff will just, ugh. You got to be careful. If you ain't careful, you break the plasticky. Okay, wrong one. Let's do the right one. You can see you got about ½ an inch sticking out there. You want to remember that, so when you put it back, you put about ½ an inch. Adjustments. Now, where you at, hosey wosey? Get that fuel hose off of there. Except I can't find there the little fuel hose off. And is that it? Or is there more? I think that's it. I think that's it. One garbage eraser. It will turn into a, hopefully, huge. Alright, let me get set up. I'll be right back. There it went. Boy, look what's coming out of that carburetor. Can you see that? Look what's coming out of there. Goodness gracious. You see all that rust? Wow. Wow. Whew, smell that old gas. Ugh. That stink. It sure do. Well, I got 3 of the screws. Where's the number 4? Last time I checked. Where did it go? You hiding in there? Yep. gonna knock over my water bottle. God, this thing is... Yep, she's a garbage raider. Where's my... Get this out. I've seen worse. And my knee going on. It's all. So she got the rust in there and yuckums. But now let's open this fuel pumps. See them van pliers, they got teeth. I got the teeth. I'll grab it. Just give it a half turn. Man, I ain't smelt gas that old smell in a long time. We're gonna work this back and forth because I don't want it to break off. And they are tight. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That should be good. A lot of white powdery yuck. One and a two. Come on. Come on, use. Just being held in there by the salt. There we go. Yeah, that diaphragm don't look all that bad. And I was expecting it to look a lot worse than that in there. Be careful when you tap on these things because they will split. Not bad. Not near as bad as I thought. And not too bad in there. I should be able to get by with just being able to take those and get some, you ever heard of this stuff? You soak it in this. And yeah, it's a reseal, and what it's supposed to do is rejuvenate rubber parts. Softens and rejuvenates seals. And it comes pretty highly recommended. So I normally just take some petroleum gels, you'll understand us, and rub them good with Vaseline, work them a little bit, and oh wow, nothing but salt in there. I don't know if you can see it, but she was plugged tight. She was plugged up. And good. Where's a skinny one? Here. Yeah. I hope I can get it out. But before I even try to take out these jets and stuff, I'm gonna give this thing a dip in the old ultrasonic cleaner. It's got some pitting in there on it. And then, oh, that's done freed up. This thing was completely stiff. It's freed up pretty good. Well, let's get her in the ultrasonic cleaner and I'll be back. Okay, I was able to get the smaller jet out and take my little wires, get it all them little holes in there. And it was good that I got this one out because it was plugged. Still a little plugged, but yeah. It was plugged. Now this jet right here was really stuck, and I'm going to show you a little hack here. When you get one of these that's froze in there, and this one was frozen there really tight, you can warm the car body up in some hot water. Don't get it really hot, just about as hot as it would come out of the tap. Soak it in there for 5 minutes anyway. Then get you a screwdriver that fits that slot real well. Even if you have to make a custom screwdriver, in other words, square it off at the end, you want it to fit really good in there. You know, it's the right width, the right thickness, if you're going to have a shot at getting this thing out. And then what I do is I lay it down on a solid surface, put that screwdriver in there, and then just lay all my weight on it, holding the body, and as much weight as you can. And then what you want to do is try and give it a quick, like that. And a lot of times that's all it'll take, is just to get them that initial good shock to get it to turn. This one was stuck hot, and then I put it in my ultrasonic cleaner with some heat. Like I said, just about as good as you know, would come out of a normal sink. And because if you strip those, you know, where the screwdriver slot is, then you've got a mess on your hands. It's still plugged. I don't know if you guys can see that down in there, but it's still plugged pretty good with yuck. Let me see. Something a little bigger. I'll be right back. Get a bigger wire, why don't you? Well, that's what I do. That's why guitar strings come in sets of 6. You see, that is a guitar string. See the little... So now I can get up in there and get that out. Yeah, it's this thing. Yeah, it's coming out now, but dang. And these little wire round guitar strings, they work really good because they got them little wraps on there that scrub things a little bit. Alright, so we get some compressed air. That looks a lot better. Same with these little holes. Get your little guitar strings, and there's 2 or 3 little holes on the top in this transition chamber. You got to get them. You got to get that in there. Get them unplugged. You know, a lot of times just a good blast of air will do it, but I'm going to take this thing apart like this. I'm going to stick a wire in there. Get that all clean. Only 2 of them on this, but I've seen them with more. Yeah, I'm gonna take the time to stick that wire in there and make sure I can see it come all the way through on this side. See it there? See my wire? Beep, 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 beep. There's my wire. Okay. A little more carburetor cleaner in there. There we go. Yeah, that sounds much better. Same with you in here. Get in there. There we go. There we go. All right. Same with these. Clean them out. Ugh. With your wires and the guitar strings. Find one that fits. And get in there and get them clean. So you can see I've got my sockets, my little 1/4-inch drive sockets right here as spacers. And so we clean that old garbage raper up. And we're going to see if this thing will actually do anything now. Get it? Whoa. It would help if you hook up the fuel hose. To the fuel pump. Now let me get that. I forgot to do that. Come on. I can get this stupid little wire clip they use. I should replace it with a good fuel zippy tie. And I may do that because I can't seem to get it. But I would like to have it on there so I don't go spraying gasolinas. Petroleones, you understand us. Come on, get up there. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to get this little wire fuel clip. I hate these things. You ever get one of them under your thumbnail? Oh! Oh! That hurts. How would I know? That's how. Boy, they hurt. And I think they use like a machine to cut them off. So they're kind of sharp. Ah, I can't get it. Anyway, let's see if any fuel comes. Yeah, she's priming up good. I can still choke it from here. So I've got it choked. You'll see what I see. Or won't. Yep, maybe it ain't gonna work. Am I forgetting anything? Got that on. Plugs are hooked up. Let me give her a squirt. See, now I can open the throat and get back in there. She may still be all plugged up. I got everything I could. Let's see. I don't guess we'll need to. All right. Oops, take it back out again. almost had her. That thing froze up too. Let's see. Back out of gear. It was that thing was plugged up. Turn that noise thing off right there. Alrighty. It runs, it shifts, it pees. And I've noticed, I'm getting a little spitting out of that cob and everything, but I really need to adjust it with the air silencer on. And something as salty as this thing is, what this little kicker needs now more than anything is to be put on a boat, good 6 gallons of premium gas, mixed 50 to 1, even a little richer on this guy because it's been sitting a long time. When a rubber grommet can stop it from shifting, that, you know, it becomes that hard and clinched on there, you know you've got an outboard that never got flushed and has been stored and sitting for a long, long time. So what this thing needs is a good tank of fresh fuel mix put through it and taken out and running, just run it really good. But first I got to get the transom clamps unstuck. That ain't no big deal on this little guy. So that's all I'm going to do to this one. When the owner comes to get it, I was unable to get a hold of him. I left a message. When he comes to pick this thing up, I'm going to let him know you need to spend a good couple hours with soap, water, lubricants, compressed air, go through this thing, get all the mold off of it, all the salt that you can get out of it. Then you need to bring it back to me and let me put a complete water pump kit in that lower unit. Like I said, the impeller I put in there was not new, but because I couldn't talk to him, I wasn't gonna order a new water pump kit and everything for it because, one, I didn't know if he would want to continue on with it. Two, I didn't know what I was going to find when I dropped that lower unit. That was the deciding factor on this one. I thought, since I couldn't get in touch with him, I will drop the lower unit, sniff around, look around, and see if I could figure out what was going on, and if it would have been something more than that grommet, I would have stopped right there. But since I got it shifting good, might as well clean up that very salty garbage raider that's on there and get it going. And that's the other thing I noticed as it runs and it comes up to temp, I'm getting some lean sneezing out of it and stuff. And the more I toy with that adjustment, the better it gets. I can bring the idle down and back out on the screw a little bit to richen it up, stop it from sneezing. And I'll do that over the next couple days until he comes here. I'll start it and just run it for 5-10 minutes, and it'll only get better. That's what it needs. So there we got this little 9.9 salty booger, at least back up and running, and the rest will kind of be up to him what he wants to do with it. So this one's getting a little bit long. And as always, that is one more hack from Kodiak. Thanks for watching.
More vids are coming on Inside Outboards with your host, Kodibass.